sang this morning, fill my cup, Lord. Fill it to the overflows. I've always said theologically that song is not right, because our cup should never be full. We should be constantly sharing out of that cup. Because the more we bless someone else's life, the more God will bless us. Saul had no intention of going to church that day. He had no intentions of going to worship God that day. But God had a plan. Saul went with Samuel to a high place and worshiped God. My friends, did we come today to worship God? To wait, to listen, to hear. Samuel said, send your servant on ahead, because there's something I must tell you. Notice what he says. Stand still. Stand still. Don't be anxious about those donkeys. And don't be anxious to head back home. But stand still. Slow down. Because God is going to give you a word. We always find a lot of things to do on Sunday morning, don't we? You know, usually when I'm putting things into PowerPoint and so forth, RJ comes to the door, and if the door's shut, he starts scratching. You know, this morning is the first morning in all the years that we had RJ that Carol said, RJ, get on your chair. There are times that we need to slow down, to stand still, and hear God. God may be telling you today, I know you're worried about your problems. I know you're worried about the burden you're carrying. I know you're worried about your finances. I know you're worried about your job, your children, your bills. But stand still, slow down, because God has a word for you. He has a plan, a program, a design, a purpose. He has an intention. But it starts when we praise Him. God's anointing wasn't to make men like animals, but to show that they were rooted and grounded in the very things of God in order to bring fruit for the glory of God. People need to stop chasing donkeys and listen to the Lord. Are we chasing after dreams today that will never come true? Chasing after donkeys that never stand still? Reminds me of a little story. In the early years of the 19th century, there were troubled times in Germany. Rumors of revolution, rioting had been frustrated, federated by government, and the government was in panic. Chief statesmen of the Confederation ordered thousands of young men be drafted into the army to guard the borders and put down any revolts. Across the countryside, young men in uniform tramped off to an unknown destiny. In one of the German villages was a grand old stone-walled church who had just put in a brand new organ. You could pick this church out because it had beautiful stained glass windows. This organ was famed throughout the region for its rich, beautiful tone. One day, an aged caretaker of the church was interrupted during his chores by